Welcome back everyone, Grandma's Handbag. Thank you so much for joining us. Kicking off this Thursday is a new Friday because I got tomorrow off. Wanted to get a vinyl finds video in and out to you guys. Cheers to you all. Don't be too jealous of this. It's just the Yeasty Boys. Yeasty Boys Australia actually. They're actually a New Zealand brewery, but I think they've set up here. Anyway, Pot Kettle Black South Pacific Porter, 6%, so a dark beer. I'm assuming there's going to be some extra hops in this. Anyway, cheers everyone. Ooh, good and strong. Very nice. Bit gassy. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, vinyl finds, yes, but first off, that was just a little clip of footage. I've been going to quite a few live gigs lately. Generally not, well, I think I'm not one of those guys that has the camera out all the time, but I do like to get a minute or two's footage, you know, just in case at some point in future I'll actually remember what the hell gigs I've been to, but also really to share with you guys. Anyway, that was Shining Bird, and I'm off to see them again tomorrow night at a regional gig, so really looking forward to it. But based on that snippet there, I'm hoping there's more of that very atmospheric stuff. I got to see them, it could be around about nearly 2 months ago now. Anyway, I'll check back in with more live footage of other gigs and things I've been to. What do we got? Whoa. The Church, with their most recent one. I haven't shown this before, so playing it, and I'll just have a few words about it. I haven't shown it. I've had it for about 18 months because I'm really not entirely sold on it. Now, I've got to put a few things into perspective. The Church, for me, have a pretty high batting average. There's little they can do wrong. Their album before this, so I think, was one of their career high points. And this album coming off the back of that just hasn't hit the same mark to me, you know. The music is there, mostly there, maybe not to quite the same intensity. I guess lyrically I've been on the fence with a couple of Steve Kilby's couplets and things like that, you know, and I wouldn't say they make me cringe. There's a couple of moments where I wince. So look, not a bad album by any means. It just didn't hit the same peaks as Further Deeper in 2014. But The Church, Man, Woman, Life, Death, Infinity, 2017. Shows you how big the backlog is for me on some of these. Alright, the next two were op shop ones I found just yesterday actually, of 3, and I'm saving the third one because it was a hell of a score. And I'm saving it for a themed video, but let me tell you, I was really excited once I realised what I had. But I'll go with these other two because they're very, very interesting op shop charity store finds anyway. Willie Marbin, I'm the Fixer. Marbin. Anyway, original USA recordings 1963-64. This is on Fly-Right label from 1981. So I'm actually really in the dark on this. Blue Sky vinyl again. Chris, if you know, or if anyone else knows anything about Willie Marbin as a blues musician, piano blues, I think. Maybe, I'm actually not even entirely sure. I'm assuming so on that. But nice bit of a write-up and blurb on the back there. And just not a record you would find in charity stores in Australia at all. Price is creeping up a little bit, but I'm not going to really argue. For $5, definitely worth a punt, I'm thinking. But Willie Marbin, if you guys know, please let me know what you know of him. Love to hear your thoughts. And same with this one as well. Babyface Willette with Behind the 8 Ball. like I said, another one you just wouldn't see in op shops around here. And I had to have a look at it and then eventually grab it because of that. As far as I can tell, this one here is actually a 2007 press, repress of it. On the Argo label, distributed, I think it says, by Universal. So the pressing, while there's no overt scratches and things on the disc itself, nice condition. It does look like a Universal United or Rainbow press. So you've probably heard my rants before on that. But look, it was $3. We're in the jazz kind of realm here with this. That, you know, Vogue-ish 1960s sort of cover. Babyface Willette, gotta give it a go. But also, if you guys can vouch for this, if you know it or love it, please let me know what you think. Because I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. Alright, this next one, another op shop one. A few months ago actually, and it's funny because I've been after this, the label specifically, for quite a while now, and it's one of my favourite label designs. They've had a couple of well-known bands. In fact, the Church were on this label early, and especially the Cure in Australia and New Zealand. Anyway, this album's called it's Dinosaur Discs, and I found this for $2, I think, in a charity store. 5-track, 12-inch, and it's on the Stun label, S-T-U-N-N. So I really love that cartoon pop art kind of blam label that's going on there. Unfortunately, it is almost entirely forgettable, except for the last track, which is by Empire, self-titled track by Empire. So all these 5 bands here, as it says, 5 new UK bands, came out in 1982. So kind of a label sampler 12-inch you've got here, and as it says at the bottom, this record is yet another in the 599 Cunning Stunt series. I think they really want you to mess your words up with that. So yeah, anyway, the best one I can say here is the track Empire, as I mentioned, self-titled track, 1982. So it's very moody, it's very Joy Division influenced, kind of post-punk, heading a little bit towards the Chameleons as well, I think. So I want to leave you with a little needle drop of that just to see what you guys think. The rest of it I'm really not going to bother you with because, as I said, you know, for 80s indie new age, new wave power pop, or more new wave, it just didn't do much for me whatsoever. Anyway, Empire. Next one. I think I just saw Hannah the Omaha Introvert pick up a Japanese CD version of this. I've had this for about 12 months now. Orange Juice, You Can't Hide Your Love Forever. I love the photograph there. I think it's by Jill Furmanovsky, who did a few photos and things throughout the 70s. Hope I'm right on that one anyway. Just the joy, the playfulness, the glee, the ecstasy somehow, or am I just reading that in because there's 2 dolphins jumping all over the place? It's a very fitting sort of cover for the music within it. That said, it's taken me a while to get to grips with this. I've always loved Simply Thrilled, Honey, and the lead-off track on here, Falling and Laughing. But to get into the rest of the songs on here, it's taken me a little extra time, to be honest, but it's starting to click, I think. So you've got, what's the best way to put it? I mean, there's kind of a soul tip element in there with Edwin. Forgetting his name, Edwin Collins, and his songs in there. You know, early 80s indie postcard label stuff. There's a bit of the Velvet Underground's Third in there, but a much more ebullient, brighter version of that. And maybe kind of a bit more of the energy, maybe not quite as tensile energy as the Feelies, I suppose, with their crazy rhythms. But yeah, very, very nice piece of writing, songwriting, and a great album that is growing on me, actually. It's taken, yeah, like I said, nearly a year. Anyway, 1982, New Zealand copied this one, believe it or not, and picked it up for, I think, $25, which seemed to be a pretty decent deal. Never pressed in Australia, strangely enough. This one, old favourite. This is an upgrade copy. You guys have seen it. I don't need to say a lot else. Neil Young. Those of the clever eye can see how behind I am. It's got a Lawson's record sticker there. So this is $40 I paid for this, and it probably was on the higher end of that. But at the same time, it's a Japanese press of Neil Young's debut. So no Obi in there. I think this is an early 70s Japanese press. Beautiful condition too, so I could kind of justify that for the price. I have an original press from New Zealand, which this is replacing, because I bought that for years ago for not a lot of coin, and it turned out that it was pretty shoddy condition, so I couldn't let this go. There's a Japanese insert to go with it, but that's about all. Like I said, no Obi with this one. But yeah, really, really love this album. If I'm going to pick a song on here that I always seem to go back for, the Old Laughing Lady and the vocal arrangements in there just really transport me somewhere else sometimes. Last Trip to Tulsa is a another favourite as well, just that story song that goes on. The Loner, yeah, you know. Happy to have an upgrade on that one. First time on vinyl for this one, and actually thought this was a pretty good price. Magazine with Real Life. So this is an Australian original copy. The cover's not in great condition, but I was able to overlook that because I actually thought the person selling it had priced it pretty fairly. $15 Australian, and the record is really in excellent condition, much better than the cover. Anyway, Magazine's Real Life, 1978, absolute classic, early post-punk album. I'll just get that out because never miss a chance to show that Two Virgins variant, the green label one there. So like I said, Australian copy, and the actual condition of this is pretty stunning for a post-punk and punk record. I would have thought, you know, most of the time these original presses would have been well loved, shared, played at parties, you know, used and abused with love, of course. But this one has mostly avoided that, except for the cover. But for $15, look, that is an upgrade from my CD copy any day of the week. Alright, a little bit of a confession time. It's not really a confession. I've probably left a few comments on people's videos, subscription record club videos before, saying that I'm not a real believer in them and I'm, you know, blah blah blah. And who's gone and joined one? And I swear it's only a temporary thing, but the offer for me was too good to refuse in the end. So it was was for these guys, the Vinyl Me Please. Once, I think Andrew Tales from the Crate first alerted me to it, that he was, joining in because of the 3 albums you had to sign for before you could re-sign anyway, and they were, well, I'll show you what they are in a sec. I'll show you right now, hey? The first one, Flaming Lips, Soft Bulletin. So once he found this, and then the following album we'll get to, you all know it anyway, I'm pretty sure, were coming out, he decided to sign up. I looked into the maths of it, and I thought, well, it's about the same price for the albums that I would get if they were released locally, if I could find them in a shop anyway. But you get a few extra little things, you know. You get a where have we got them here? You get, in this case, a lithograph. You know, other little extras and things, and plus you get, in most cases, I think, a coloured variant or that on the vinyl. So realised after the Flaming Lips in October, seeing them live, that yeah, I still needed to get a copy of the Soft Bulletin, and Vinyl Me Please had their sign up for this album for October, and thought, look, pull the trigger. So they end up at about 55 Australian dollars for these 2 albums and the third one. Whether or not I'll keep it after January, I'm not sure. I do like when they go into the specifics on pressing, where they've been produced and made at, and for all of that now I'm forgetting where this one was pressed at. I want to say RTI, can't be certain on that, but yeah, they give you the details you kind of want when you're shelling out that sort of money. This is the big daddy, I think, that everyone's been waiting for. So here we are, Vinyl Me Please, pressing of that just came in the other day. Haven't even had a chance to spin this one, but I mean, look, we all know this, don't we? It's probably been one of the top 10 requested vinyl records of the past, what, decade or so? Anyway, Vinyl Me Please, done a great job on this one here. Quick shout out to Merrick the Vinyl Truffle, who was able to give me some more info on Vinyl Me Please. He did a video on it as well and showed his love for it. So anyway, but with this one, they've done it right from the outset. Queens of the Stone Age. The vinyl is very, very pretty in this one. You know, you're getting those good lined sleeves, red, black marbled vinyl, beautiful stuff. And so this has been mastered by Chris Bellman, or lacquers cut by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grundman Mastering, pressed at Palace in the US. So, you know, right at the top of the line that you want when there's mastering and remastering and pressing going on in there. So yeah, these ones here, very, very pleased, knowing in advance at least what I was getting for joining. Made it worthwhile in this instance, I think. So, you know, for roughly the same price, a nice coloured variant that I get to see everyone else have. Sam, Vinyl Dish, I am sorry if I've sold out the cause for this one, but, you know, we don't get as much colour down here. Well, I say I don't, anyway. Alright, the last one. This, yeah, really, really pleased to pick this up. Found it for sale. I've been hanging out for an Australian press of it for a little while now. And a copy came up via Discogs, but actually being sold by a physical store within walking distance from where I work. So that was an absolute no-brainer. It was $30. Talk, with The Colour of Spring, their third album from 1986. Really, really happy to have this one. And just a great album. You know, Happiness is Easy, I Don't Believe in You, Life's What You Make It. 8 tracks in here. Each song is nearly 6 minutes long, so you can really start to feel them throw off their synth pop cloak and new wave of the early 80s, stretch out, you can see this organic cover with the butterflies and things in there, and you get that feel going through into the music. It's a lot more expansive. Acoustic instruments are coming in. You've got guests like Robbie McIntosh of the Pretenders on guitar, Steve Winwood on organ on a few tracks, even Danny Thompson on bass, acoustic bass turns up in here. So Talk really, with this one, starting to mess around with their formula, but at the same time, that songwriting, you can just start to feel it stretch out as well into different dimensions. Mark Hollis's vocals, really, I haven't given him quite the credit that he probably deserves as a vocalist, but this has been an absolute wonder vocally to listen to. And look, it's hard to say whether it'd be a second or a third favourite album, but I really feel awful even contemplating that question with Talk's last 3 albums. I don't think there's a dud moment on any of these last 3 here. Favourite tracks? Look, Life's What You Make It is something that really keeps coming back to me. I put it up there as an 80s anthem, almost of the likes of It's My Life, for example. It's kind of this, it's very much a 80s anthem insofar as, that greed is good and excess, and this idea in It's My Life that there's this kind of agency of life and things. Whereas Life's What You Make It really extends that idea again into go out and get it, that sort of thing. So, 86. What else can I say about this? There's probably a lot more, and I've fudged it all already, but just really, really happy to have The Colour of Spring here. Beautiful stuff. Okay, everyone, cheers. Thank you so much for joining in. Hope you're doing well and things aren't getting you too down there weather-wise. It's all over the shop here at the moment as well. Hope the run into Christmas and Thanksgiving for you all coming up pretty soon in the Northern Hemisphere and in America is a big one. So thinking of you all. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you for joining in. Take care. And I'll keep repeating myself until I talk to you again soon. Cheers. Bye.